Hey friends, today we are creating some super cute Easter crafts using things from the Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, and from my stash. All right, guys, my name is Tracy. I love to share crafty ideas with a bit of rustic country charm. If it's your first time here, welcome. And let's go ahead and get started and let me share these sweet Easter DIYs. Okay, for this cute project is a bunny hop decor piece that I created using one of these wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. And I'm also going to be using the Mod Podge heat transfer method. And first I put a coat of Mod Podge on the wood bunny. I paid special attention to the edges just to make sure that they were all nice and covered so that I wouldn't have any of my paper come up. So I want to capture a specific part of the paper, so I just take my pen, something that I can see, and then just carefully draw around the bunny, and then I will cut it out with scissors, and then that is what I'm going to Mod Podge on to my wooden bunny. If you are not familiar with the Mod Podge heat transfer method, what it is I put a layer of Mod Podge on my wood bunny and it completely dried. I had my heat gun or my heat tool to help it along so that it's completely dry. And then I'm using my mini heat press that I bought from Cricut, and I'm just using that as an iron, but a regular iron or other mini iron may work. And just using some parchment paper, and I make sure that my paper is on the bunny secured, and then I heat it up and pay special attention to the edges. And since I've been doing this, I do not have any paper peel up. For the banner of in front of my basket, what I started with is this piece of burlap. Now this burlap is just a strip that I've had left over from a previous project, and it already has Mod Podge on it. I like to put Mod Podge on my burlap to make it a bit stiffer. And so then I just took just some cardstock and just made me a template for a small banner, little pennant, and then I'm going to trace this out. I found that a fine Sharpie marker shows up best for me, so I trace this out and then just cut it out so that it'll be ready. I'm going to paint just a part of the banner just to give it some pink color, and it's going to look really cute on the front of my basket. Now for the letters, what I'm using is these I just got these letters from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just using this purple color. It's the color lavender, and I just gave that one coat of lavender color paint, and then I'm going to go back and add just some white highlight to the letters because that's what I like to do, just to make them pop. For the banner, I'm using this pink color. It is an Americana brand. Poodle Skirt Pink is the name of this pink. So I just took my 1/4 inch flat paintbrush and just went around kind of in the center just to give it some pink color. I am not going all the way to the end, as you can see. I'm just going around just to kind of fill in the middle of that banner. And then I will just glue the letters onto the front of the banner. These small baskets came from Hobby Lobby during the fall season, and I love them because it looks like little bushel baskets to me. And what I didn't do anything to the basket. I left it the color that it is, and so then I'm just going to glue these pennants to make the banner to spell hop on the front of the basket. To finish off the edges of the banner, I just made a 2-loop bow just with some jute that I got from the Dollar Tree, and then I just glue that to the ends of each of the banner just to look like it's all tied together. To decorate my basket, I'm just using a block of this styrofoam that I like to get from the Dollar Tree when I can find it. I just glue that in, and then to cover it up, I'm just using this fine Excelsior. I love this fine Excelsior. It's kind of like Spanish moss, and I have the best luck finding it at Joann's craft store. And what I do is just cover up that styrofoam and just push it into the basket, just trying to, bring it down so that I don't see any of the green of that styrofoam. And then this is what I'm going to stick my florals in. Now, this greenery with the small purple flowers came from Hobby Lobby, of course, and it just says floral on it. There's no, specific name or anything. So I just cut off sticks of this, or sprigs of this rather. And this particular greenery comes with the little white flowers, these purple flowers, yellow, and I think pink. And I cannot wait to get some of those other colors as well. And so then I just continue just to put these little sprigs of this greenery with the purple flower in until I like the look of it. And then I'm going to attach the basket to my bunny, but I want to make sure that my bunny stands up and that, everything is, proportioned so that he doesn't lean one way or the other. So I just hot glue that basket to the front of the bunny. Actually, I used a combination of E6000 and a bit of the hot glue just to make sure I got a permanent hold. And then those white baby's breath, I got those from Walmart, and then I cut off a few sprigs of those and stuck that in there, and it was perfect for this little bunny. For the bow at the top of her ear, what I did is I just cut off some strips of just burlap, and I have this purple small dot polka dot ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. I love that so much. It's perfect for the spring and Easter season. And I also have some just different ribbons and lace. This one is glittery, and then I have some lace that I got also from Hobby Lobby. Probably most of these came from Hobby Lobby or either Walmart. I think that white and pink pom-pom ribbon I got from Walmart. And so I just crisscross those until I like the look. And then I get the best hold with a pipe cleaner. So I just put a pipe cleaner around it, and I'm not too worried about it, that you're going to see the pipe cleaner, because I'm going to, glue a cute flower to the center of this messy bow. Flowers came from nowhere else but Hobby Lobby in the Easter section. And so I just went through and just picked out one that I liked and just glued it there in the center of that bow. And I think it is the perfect addition to this bunny hop decor piece that I created. This project I'm calling my bunny platter decor because I am starting with one of these rectangle gold platters. Well, it doesn't matter. This one is from the Dollar Tree. I gave it 2 coats of the plaster color chalk paint. I just feel that it, sticks a little bit better to these plastic trays. Then to give it a border, what I'm going to use is some Poodle Pink paint by Americana. This is just Americana paint, and I'm also using my fan brush, and I'm just going to go around the edges just to give it a border. Now I put some paint on it, and I don't want it to be too clumpy. I want it to be more of lines, so I just kind of spread that off a little bit, and then I just continue to go around the gold platter with the paint. I just used an end of a large paintbrush just to dip it into that pink paint and put some dots in between the lines just to give it a more decorative touch. Now I'm going to do some splatter paint, and I'm just using that same poodle skirt pink and just giving it some splatter. Then I'm going to go back and use an acrylic paint granite gray. Now that granite gray is a apple barrel that you can get almost anywhere, but I like the combination of the 2 colors with for my paint splatters. the paper for the inside of that tray is from this paper pack from Hobby Lobby. And what I did, I just, kind of formed it around so I could kind of get an average of where I needed to cut it. And then I just used my trimmer just to cut it down. I did have to go and, cut it down a couple of times because I wanted to make sure that it fit correctly. I took my fine Sharpie marker and just went around the edges just to give it some doodling of what I like to do. Just kind of gives a border, and I really feel that the black marker makes it pop. Then once that was all dry, I gave it a coat of my gloss varnish that I like to use. And then once that was dry, what I'm going to do is to attach the paper, I'm just going to use the Mod Podge heat transfer method. That is my favorite method to do right now. So I'm just using some regular Mod Podge. Make sure that that is completely dry. I use my heat gun, my heat tool, or a hair dryer would work as well, just to make sure that that is all dry. And I'm using my little Cricut mini press, and it's just a little iron, and then that brown paper is parchment paper. I just go over it. It kind of acts like a barrier to just protect everything. And so then now we're just ready to go into our next part of the project. I'm going to paint my little bunny. Now this wood bunny is from the Dollar Tree, and I gave it 2 coats of just white acrylic paint, and then I'm going to make a cute little face on it. Okay, I'm using a 1/2 inch flat paintbrush and some clean water and that granite gray paint. I dip half of my brush in paint, the other half in clean water, and then I blend on a paper towel. Then I'm just going around the edges just to give it, some color and definition. And then once that is all done, then I'm going to use that poodle skirt pink paint and a stencil brush, and it just gives some color to the ears as well as the cheeks. I like the more rectangle up and down cheeks, so that's why I'm stippling it on like this. And then once I finish with that, I let that completely dry, and then I'm going to go back and just with a very loved, very thin liner brush. I've had this brush for many years. It's missing some bristles. The handle is broken. It's just my favorite brush to make little lines like this on my projects. And so I'm just putting in some lines and just giving it some character. And then to create the eyes for my bunny, I like to start out by using a marker first, and I like the more almond shaped eyes, and you could use the end of a paintbrush. You could use whatever style of eyes that you like. And so I usually start with a marker, and then I go back in and fill it in with paint. And so these eyes were just a little small, so then I go ahead and get a brush and make them a little bit bigger. Then I'm going to use my favorite brush, my little thin missing bristles, little liner brush, and make some characters to the face by adding some eyelashes, some eyebrows. And then I'm also going to use a stylus that I got from the Dollar Tree to make some freckles. But before I do that, I'm going to take my flat paintbrush and that granite gray paint and just shade around the cheeks and the inside of the ears, just to kind of bring it out, bring those colors out a little bit more. Then I will use my ultra fine Sharpie marker and just go around the outside of the bunny just to doodle him up and give him some cuteness of what I like. I also go around the cheeks and the inside of the ears. I gave my bunny some paint splatter with black, and then once that was completely dry, I just, gave it a coat of my favorite gloss varnish. Now, before I put my nose on, I wanted to put a hole in the bunny. I'm using my paper piercer for that. And also that wire is from the Dollar Tree. I cut off 6 small, pieces of the wire. And then I'm using my curling iron tools that a sweet friend and follower, Miss Jan Blackwell, sent to me. They have 4 different sizes. It has a little slit in this tool. You just slip your wire in there and then it goes around. I do have a link for where you can get these now. I will have the link for it in the description box. All right, so then to put the wires in my bunny, I had to make my hole a tad bigger, and so I did that with my my little poker tool, my little paper piercer, that's what it's called. Anyway, so I stuck all 6 of those in there, and then I'm using one of these glittery hearts stickers from the Dollar Tree from the Valentine's season, and that is what is going to be my bunny's nose. And then once I have my nose placed, then I take my ultrafine Sharpie marker and just draw him a cute little mouth. And I like to get my nose on first before I draw a mouth because just for placement purposes and all of that stuff. Now, I had used the Scrabble tiles to spell out Happy Easter, and I just am sharing it. This is how I sort my Scrabble tiles. I just put them in little jewelry, plastic bags, and that keeps them, all the different letters. I have 26 of them, one for each letter of the alphabet, and it just helps me find my letters better. Okay, so I spelled out Happy Easter, and what I'm doing now is I'm giving them a coat of gloss varnish, that gloss varnish that I always use, and that is because I am going to put some happy dots on these Scrabble letters. And so by giving it like a sealer, then my black Sharpie marker doesn't bleed. I had tried it out on one of them, and it kind of bled a little bit, as far kind of like the marker ran a little bit. So, but if I put just a thin coat of the gloss varnish on there, then it doesn't bleed, and I am very happy. Then I took my ultrafine Sharpie marker and just went around the edges and gave it some doodling. Now, guys, this is just my preference. This is what I like to do, and I am so glad and honored that the Lord has sent me so many sweet friends that love this style of crafting as well. Now, to enhance the dots on my happy dots, I just use just a white paint pen and just go in each of the dots and just kind of make some pop. I just feel that it makes the letters pop. Then I'll just arrange them on the my little platter here, and I kind of had to get a little creative with the Easter part because the letters I had to make sure that they all fit on there, and I'm just adhering them with some hot glue. And then for the bunny, I wanted to give him some dimension, so I'm just using 3 Jenga blocks or tumbling tower blocks and just gluing that on the back of my bunny just to give him some dimension. I like to get these garlands from Hobby Lobby and then take them apart and use the little picks that are individual. I can use them in my decorations. All right, so I'm going to be using some of this fine Excelsior. Y'all have seen me use this many, many times before, and I like to use it kind of like as a barrier, kind of styrofoam kind of thing. And so I'm hot gluing it on, but once I figured out when I'm going to stick my picks in there, I thought, well, I should have put my picks down first because I had to kind of pull that Excelsior back and make sure that all of it was, snug in there. And it kind of acts like styrofoam to me, and it's a bit whimsy, it's a bit country, and I just love it so much. So I just stick 2 of these Easter egg picks in, one on each side, and then I'll just continue to add some Excelsior where I feel that there were holes, and then I'm going to go back and add a couple of more eggs. I just kind of pull those picks apart and just stick them where I think that they look nice. I'm going to make a messy bow for the top, so I just have some of this sheer glittery ribbon. That pink mini polka dot ribbon is from Hobby Lobby. Probably most of these are from Hobby Lobby, and I just cut off 2 pieces and just crisscross them to make an X. I have done this many times before, but if you're new here, welcome. I am so glad that you are here. And so then once I get all of my ribbons or trims laid the way that I want, I gather it in the middle, and then I twist it with a pipe cleaner, and that is what gives me the strongest hold. I have had, some friends say that they use zip ties. I have seen crafters also use jute, but whatever works for you. And I just use my needle nose pliers to give me a good twist. All right, so then I will just, add some hot glue there, and then just put that sweet bow right there at the top. Now, these flowers are felt flowers from Hobby Lobby in the Easter section, and they have some really pretty colors. So I just pulled out the blue one or turquoise one, and just hot glued it there in the middle, and this project is complete. It's just so cute. I just love the way that it turns out. And I hope that you do too. I do put a lot of, steps and a lot of thought into my projects, and thank you for being here. All right, so what I'm showing you here, I am just going to stand this up as a shelf sitter, but if you wanted to have it be a hanger, what you could do is use a pipe cleaner and make sure it's glued on the back. I would probably cover it up with felt or canvas or something else that might give it a little bit more sturdiness, and just to make it more secure. Okay, here is my version of the bunny butt decor. This cute cutout is from the Dollar Tree, and I gave it a couple of coats of this white acrylic paint. Now, initially, I was just going to paint this up really cute and, put it on a sign or a wreath or something like that. But I'm going to share my little mess up so that you don't do it as well. I know you're smarter than me and you will not do it. I forgot to fill up my hole, so I pulled out my wood filler from Walmart, and I spread it around like frosting. I don't know what I was thinking, and I had to leave my project, and so it dried. And so when I went back to it, I'm like, girl, what were you thinking? Because it wouldn't sand off or anything. So plan B. All right, so I took off the feet for the bunny, took off the bunny feet, and then I'm going to take off the bunny tail, and I got those off by with my heat tool and some elbow grease. I mean, these little things are stuck on there tight. Dollar Tree must be using a different glue or something like that, but I did. I stayed with it and got them off, and so we're good to go. All right, so then what I'm going to use then for the fluffiness of my bunny is I'm using these like duster things that you can get in the home section, like cleaning section over at the Dollar Tree. And these packs come in, it has 3 pieces, but one of them is the handle, and then in the package are 2 of the little dusters. And also what I'm showing you there, you can use those little like chamois things from the car section, but I had these on hand and decided to use those. And so I just kind of pulled them apart and just used my scissors just to, you know, kind of cut the like strings that were like in between the little fluffy thing. And then I just used my hot glue to attach them all. The first one I did, I kind of pulled apart just to see how I'm wanting to put this on. But once I got into it a little bit more, I found out that, you know, I could leave them whole and not have to pull them apart and, you know, just kind of feel around as I go along my bunny. The feet, to give it some shading around the edges, I'm doing my favorite way to shade. I'm using a flat paintbrush and some gray acrylic paint. I dip half of my brush in paint, the other half in clean water. I blend on a paper towel, and then I just go around the edges just to give it some definition. For like the bottoms of the feet for my bunny, I'm just using some half split balls is what I'm using. And these are, I have 2 smaller ones and 1 bigger one. And then I just use a piece of painter's tape just to, you know, stick them together. I found this from another fellow crafter and appreciate that. And so I just gave that 2 coats of poodle skirt pink. And then I just gave I used my ultrafine Sharpie marker and just gave the bunny feet some doodling and stuff I love to do. And then also I gave that just a little bit of black paint splattering because I love to do that. And then just to, you know, make sure everything was nice and sealed, I just used my favorite gloss varnish. Now, to give the bunny fluffiness a little bit of definition, I just used that same gray paint and just went around the edges just to give it some, you know, just color around the edges. And I love that it just kind of enhances it just a bit. I decided to add some like paws on the bottom of my feet, and I'm using 2 circles. These are the 2.5-inch circles. They're from the Chip Decor that I got on sale recently from Hobby Lobby. Okay, so I painted them up with 2 coats of the poodle skirt pink, as well as shaded them with the granite gray that I like using. And why I have those 1/2-inch wood balls there is because I had used a different pink previously, and so I wanted them to match. So I went ahead and repainted them so that they would all match. And then I did some doodling around the edges of the paw, and then I'm going to add a Jenga block or a tumbling tower block to the bottom of the paw so that I can get some dimension. And so this is what happens when, you know, you do different things on different days. You know, I forget which color I used and that kind of thing. And so doing these video guys is a lot of work. I say that humbly. I say that because all glory and honor to the Lord for giving me this platform and this community so that I can share these beautiful crafts with. For the bunny tail, I'm going to use this fabric as well as just some trims and ribbons. I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to make I don't know, a messy bow. I just had this fabric that I ripped up a little bit thinner and also cut some of the strips of ribbon. And so now I'm just layering them. No really rhyme or reason. I just kind of want to mix them up so that I don't have, so they're just kind of mixed up. And I'm adding in some lace as well as some shimmery ribbon. And then once I gather that the way that I want, I just kind of scrunch it together in the middle, and then I'm going to take a piece of that fabric and then just tie it off in the center. And then what I'm going to need to do is give this little bunny tail a haircut because these are way too long. And so then I like to use my pinking shears to do that because it gives just a little bit decorative edge on the edge of the fabric or the ribbon. And so then once I get that done, then I will just hot glue that into the top of the bunny butt. I decided I wanted to add a bit of a decorative touch to the paws, and so I'm just using some of that pink and white gingham fabric and just cutting out some circles. The first set that I cut was a bit small for my liking, so I went back and cut a couple of larger ones, and I like that a lot better. And so this little bunny butt is complete. I love the way that it turned out. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. Maybe have it just stand like this, or just put it in decor, or maybe a faux plant, because I just love this so much, and I hope that you do too.